In this video I will show you how I customize Blender for professional use. Now, any software you use, you should be able to and should customize it to make it more proficient and comfortable and more user-friendly, and make it more faster and robust, so that you can make it more oriented towards your needs. So I will show you how I customize Blender for my personal or professional needs and make it more proficient and make it more oriented towards my needs, so I'm more comfortable to use it in my projects. Well, after watching this video, you will be able to customize Blender for your personal use or professional use. But there are things you will not do exactly what I am showing you here, but you can definitely, after watching this video, you can definitely customize Blender the way you want. But there are also something that you want to carry from this video, and if you like everything, definitely you can do all of the things that I'm doing here. There's one thing that I'm gonna do that I'm definitely sure about, that everybody wants this feature to add in Blender, which is called the Asset Flingers. It will help you build a 3D mesh library for your Blender, and I am pretty sure that everybody that uses Blender or any 3D software needs this type of feature in their software. So let's begin this tutorial. Now, as every one of you that have seen my previous video might be wondering, when they open up Blender, it looks different than mine. When Blender is opened, normally it looks like this. This is a startup file for Blender or startup scene for Blender, but mine look like this. It's not that I have saved all these objects into a different layer. What I did was select everything and just delete it. I deleted everything from my scene and went in the info header file and go down all the way down to save startup file. Once you press enter or you click this save startup file, again, if you open a file, go all the way down, you will see save startup file, or the short key is Ctrl U. So once you save it, it will always open like this. You won't see any object in your scene anymore. So I like to see Blender this way. Now, another thing you might be noticing is the theme. The theme of Blender is quite different. Well, I have talked about this in my early videos, but let's just talk about this once again. If you go into File in the Info Header region, all the way down to User Preference, and you open it up, from this window, from Blender User Preference window, you go into the theme and you can select from a handful of themes that are given to you in this list, or you can simply create by pressing this plus button. It says add or remove a theme preset. You can add a theme preset of your choice and change the theme by just changing these colors, going through this and changing these colors according to your need, and changing these parameters. But I'm not gonna do that, so I'm gonna stick with what I have in here. After that, after choosing theme, I think I should go back to user preference. After selecting theme of your choice, which is not that big of a deal if you are talking about making it more proficient or user-friendly, it's just personal preference and what your eyes like. So from here you can go into system and come down here where it says cycle compute device. What it does is it gives you option to shift your rendering entirely to graphics card, and it is really helpful and useful to do so, because this way the software is not going to put all the rendering load, all the calculation on CPU. Instead, it is going to put all that calculation on GPU, and hence making it more faster and less hard for your CPU to compute. This way, your computer while rendering won't get stuck or lag or crash. Chances for crashing or lagging will be minimized. So you rather want to shift to graphics card for rendering, and you want to save user settings. Now, this will be really helpful since we will be doing a lot of rendering in our projects, and you might also be doing a lot of rendering. It also make the renderer faster. Now, let's move on to some other ways to customize it, or some other useful feature that we can add in Blender to make it more proficient and professional. Now, one of the feature that we really want to add is export selected. What it will do is it will export one or more selected objects out of your scene rather than importing the entire scene. So you can select any handful of object or any one or more object by going into File and say Export, and Export Selected, and choose any of the format you like, from Blender to Alembic to any other format you choose. So how to do this? We don't normally have this type of feature in Blender installed by default. We have to install this feature or this add-on manually. So what we can do is we can go into internet, and then we can type Blender export selected, and we can go into that link and click on the link where it says current version download. Click on this link and press Ctrl A to select all, and then press Ctrl C to copy it. Then go back to the previous page and then open up a notepad or text editor, and then what you will have to do is you have to paste all of the text that you have copied from that page or from that link and paste it in this document or notepad, whatever you have opened, and then copy this file name, and when you close it, it will automatically ask you for saving. So say save as, and then paste this name and say save, and it will save as a Python document or Python file, and close it and just go ahead and find that file where you have saved it. In my case, I think I have saved it in document in this folder, Mars folder or file, and here it is. So all you have to do is first cut it and save it somewhere in your computer, and I, as you can see, have already saved it so that in any case the add-on gets deleted or you reinstall Blender for some reason, you can easily take this file from your computer and reinstall it in your Blender directory so that you don't have to find it or download it again from the internet. So from here, all you have to do is, if we go back, let me paste this with the original. Yes, and let's just say we copy it from here, and all we have to do is go into our root directory if you're using Linux. So in Linux, all you have to do is go to your user from root and then go to share, and here you will find the Blender folder. This is where Blender folder is installed in the Linux. Now you have to find the same folder in your Windows operating system, and I think that is in C, Programs and Blender, or Blender Foundation, Blender, something like that. So from Blender, you have to go into the current version, and then you have to go into the script, then to add-ons, and here all you have to do is paste it here. I have already pasted it right here. Now to those who don't know how to do that, all you have to do is right click in this folder, and well, it won't let you paste it here directly. So what you have to do is you have to open it as a root. When you click it, give it the passport, give it the passwords, and then enter. And here you can easily right click and paste it. In my case, I have already done that. It's my habit to always download and install some basic add-ons for Blender that are helpful and make it more proficient and user-friendly and more professionally usable. So all we have to do is to close this and maybe close this as well, and now we have to go to the Blender, and in the header region of the info editor, and go into the user preference and into the add-ons, and from here we just have to type export, and once we type this, it will eliminate all other things from the list, and you can easily find import export, and I think this is right here, import export selected. As you can see, it's right here. You have to just check it and then click on save user settings. Now all we have to do is close this tab and we shall see the export selected option. Now before we go any further, I want to show you that one thing more you can do rather than type the name here, you can just eliminate on the base of the type right here. All you have to do is select the right type that your plugin belongs to. In our case, we are looking in import and export. So this way, we can easily eliminate all the other options. But as you can see, the list is longer than ours since we just typed export. And it knew right away that we're just searching for the plugin that just involves just exporting, not importing. Now these are the plugins that involve both import and export, one or the both. All you have to do is to choose the right category that you're searching the add-on from. Now let's just close this, and let's go to our second plugin, which is called the Assets Flinger. Now close this tab and go into the Google and double click this and type Blender, or let's see if you just type Assets Flinger. Does it give us that result? And yes, it does. All we have to do is open this up. All you have to do is open this up, and I already had opened this. So I'm gonna go in here and we have to download this latest version. So we have to download this. And one thing more, this version is just the basic add-on. There, in the older version, there is some sort of library that is pre-installed in this Asset Flinger add-on. So that's why they didn't add that library into this add-on, because it has already been installed in the older version. All you have to do is to download this, and let's just see, download this and extract it and look for the library and installed in the new version of this add-on. So now we are gonna go into the folder or the directory where these add-ons are installed. So let's just go in here and you will see both of these are installed right here. So what we have to do is just to cut both of these and paste it somewhere in your computer. I can paste it in software plugin and Blender, but I already have these things installed and stuff. Install it somewhere in your directory. So I will just, for the sake of this video, create a new folder and double click it and save it here, just to show you how to do or deal with this. Extract it here, and okay, it just have extracted it inside that, which we don't want. And once again, let me just extract it. Yep, right here. Replace all and show file. Okay, now extract it again once more. Reason why, because we want to see everything is extracted right. Okay, thumbnail and generator, icons, and if you come here, icons, the same, thumbnail, generator. All you have to do is delete all the folder except these files and this folder. So go back and just do it. Thumbnail, Mac, Windows, Linux, Shift T, and you will delete it. Now this is ready for copying from here and going all the way back to the root directory, going in user, share, Blender, current version, scripts, add-ons, and paste it just like we did before. right click, open as root, type the code, and then say paste. In my case, I've already installed this add-on. So one thing you need to keep in mind that mine add-on doesn't have those assets. I want to build my own assets library. So for that reason, I will be building my own folders and categorizing these folders my own style or my own way. So just going out and close this, go into Blender. This is what I really wanted to do. So go into the header region of info editor and click the file again and click user preference. Go into the add-ons in this window and click this bar and type assets, and what you should be able to, okay, one thing you have to keep in mind while using these add-on tab in the user preference, if you're searching some add-on, unless or until you know the exact type that add-on is in, don't click any of these, instead click all. And what this should do is set asset. What it should do is let us find that specific add-on. Now I already have selected or activated this add-on, and once you do activate this, save user settings and then close it. Now these two things have been installed in the Blender, and if you really want to go ahead and choose any of those assets and bring them into Blender, well, there are two ways. First one is you can press Shift A. For some reason it shows asset finger too many times. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this and I am going to reopen Blender. This should solve the problem. Okay, yes. And all you have to do is, again, to add any asset from your library, all you have to do is press Shift A, go into the Add List menu, and then go into the mesh, and at the end of the list you will see asset flinger. Click this and you should probably see some assets. Or you can also do it by Shift, Control, Alt and A. Well, in my case, I think there is no item in the assets folder verified. Interesting. For this, we can go in user preference, search for that asset back again, plug add-on back again, open it up here and choose the path for the library, choose the directory, Blender, script, add-ons. By the way, I am redirecting it back to that where I have installed this add mesh asset flinger add-on, back to this where the add-on was, and then into the assets folder. So all I have to do is accept this and save user settings and then close this. Again, going to press Shift, Control, Alt, A and you will see a folder. Click on this and you will see this asset that I have just installed in my library. Click on this and it will give us this asset that I have installed in my library. It's a sync. Now, there is one more thing that I think we should have in Blender, in my opinion, and that is called the text effects add-on. So for this add-on, we need to go to the internet browser as well. So let's go to the internet browser in the Google and type in the text effects, and first we need to really find this. So I think we need to specify that we need this in Blender. And now let's just go to the first link or the first result and open it up into a new tab. And let's just close both of these. Now come down here and we will see a download link right here. Click on this and it will download it in your download directory. Show in folder, and here it is, the very first file. Let's just cut this and go into your computer and save it somewhere that you will remember. And since I already have saved it in here, right here, all I need to do is to save it into a folder that I can later delete. So paste it here, extract it, and since this is the same as this one, and I already have installed it, we can copy it and we can go to root directory, user. By the way, this is a Linux operating system and this tutorial can be for just Linux user only, but I think maybe Windows user, if they know how to do some basic stuff, I think they can follow this tutorial as well and they can understand how to install these add-ons in Windows or Mac as well. By the way, I don't know about Mac that much, but I will be able to teach you how to install that in Windows. And if you have any questions, you can ask in the comments below. So let's just go into the Blender folder, the current version that you're using, scripts, add-on, and we need to open this up as a root. So you just have to open that the way I am opening and paste it right here. But since we have already, let me just show you. Since we have already, okay, that is not good. By the way, we already had this installed. I don't know why I didn't ask to replace or skip or cancel the operation. It just override it without asking. I thought it would. So I just showed you how to install that in, and once you have installed it, all you have to do is go to the Blender and go into the user preference in the add-on and write text effects, animation text effects. So by the way, the category is animation. So if you click on animation, you can see it is categorized under the animation right at the end. So just activate it and save user settings. It is very useful. But now this tool, I just forgot to talk about it. Now this tool is very useful if you want to create some text motion graphics or motion graphics for the text. You want a fun and easy way to animate the text. Like for example, if we want the typewriting, if you write and you play it back, you can see it just literally just, let me just find the ending frame and right here. And as you can see, it is really easy to animate text with this plugin. So it is really useful for some motion graphics effects, and there are some other useful add-ons out on internet that are really useful tools for motion graphics. So you can search for those tools if you want to. So till now we were learning how to download add-ons for Blender from internet and then how to install them into your Blender directory. Now what I want to show you some really cool add-ons that are pre-installed or that are already given to you in Blender. So I think the most important of these are, by the way, you can go through all of these one by one to see, like this one, math versus console, display console, define math units variable in the 3D view. Layer manager, management, display and edit layer names. So very useful Blender tools. I think, yes, like these layers, you can, I think, yes, you can name all of these layers. As you can see, this is a really helpful tool for you to just name each layer and then change their visibility, lock them. I didn't know about this and I wasn't expecting it or expecting myself to do this thing. Okay, never mind. Now, I'm going to talk about some other useful add-ons that are already given in Blender and that those are really useful. So let's just try to go through a few. There are some that by looking at them you will immediately realize that these are useful, like this measurement tool, but I'm just not gonna enable this right now. Never mind. I'm looking for ACH, these both tools. You can enable both of these tools because both of these are really helpful tools or add-ons for architectural visualization purpose. If you want to create something that is like an interior scene or an exterior scene, a building that is related to architectural visualization project or something similar, you might be needing one of these add-on because this will give you a full system to create a house interior, house exterior buildings or architectural 3D models by just few clicks, and that's it. Both of these add-ons will give you this type of power on your fingertips. Well, I might enable both of those because I kind of like working with both of those, but I mostly like the Archi pack. And Archi Mesh is good as well because it might give you some options that ArchiPack won't give you. So enable both of these, and then there's another. Well, there are a lot of plugins or add-ons in Blender that should be enabled, and the list is long, but I am just choosing my favorite one. The others I haven't tested enough, and I didn't need, but I think they are really useful as well. So going to the next add-on that I think will be really very useful is SKY Sky Lighting Dynamic Sky. Let's just enable this one and save user settings. And both of these are going to give you some tool to create physics. There's create, like right here, ArchiPack and ArchiMesh. Both kind of gives you great tools to build architecture visualization projects, or a great architect. It is really helpful to add such an add-on. Now we can, I think, have to go to the cycles render to add this lighting. Okay, render passes thumbnail dynamic sky. Right here, right in the end, it will ask you to create a dynamic sky. The dynamic world could not be found in the world's data. So all you have to do is to go in here and let me just create this one dynamic from the property world. You have to choose this dynamic one, and it is going to give you this mix, some sort of node right here, and will let you have a dynamic sort of sky. That will mimic the realistic sunlight or moonlight and sky, nighttime sky or daytime sky, depending on what you want. Smooth it, and if we just hit render, you can see it just gives you that immediately. And from here you can control this thing. So in this tutorial I have shown you how I customize Blender for professional use or make it more proficient for personal use. So this was the last video of this chapter. Now from the next video, the next chapter will start. From the next chapter, our in-depth tutorials will start. From now on, each chapter will be dedicated in detail for each subject of 3D computer graphics. We will be covering modeling, rendering, animation, VFX, compositing, simulation, texturing, rigging, all of these in detail in all coming chapters. So the next chapter is dedicated to modeling. So in the next chapter, we will be learning 3D modeling in detail. See you in the next chapter.